Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Supergrads. My name is Abhyansh Sir and I am ready with another session wherein we will discuss some of the topics that are important for your IPMAT preparation. I know students' board exams are going on. There might be boards, there might be pre-boards, but you cannot undermine the importance of your IPMAT preparation. If you're not able to dedicate hours and hours for the IPMAT preparation, it's fine. Just try and dedicate around 20-30 minutes for the IPMAT preparation, and trust me, that will help you keep in touch with the preparation and with the most important topics, the most important rules that we have frequently seen in the last 3-4 years. So I believe everyone is ready for today's discussion. The last session was about conditionals. Today's discussion is around subject-verb agreement, a topic from which there has been around one question in every year's IPMAT Indore question. Only talking about IPMAT Indore, there have been questions in Rohtak and JIPMAT as well. So I'm not going to teach the entire topic of subject-verb agreement, but 5 most important rules of subject-verb agreement from where I have seen questions in IPMAT Indore exam. I hope everyone is ready. Let's begin, students. And here is our first rule for today. So as I said, I'll be only talking about those 5 super important rules जहां से questions हो रहे हैं IPMAT Indore exam में. And of course, सिर्फ rules पढ़ लेना, that's not the end of the story. That's just half of your job done. That's just the 50% work. The other 50% is of course implementation of rules. So 5 questions भी session के end में देखेंगे. So here is our first rule, students. Intervening phrase distractor rule, or something that I love calling the conjunction rule. Now when you have any of these conjunctions, students, the verb agrees with the actual subject, or you could say the first subject, because when we use these conjunctions, as the name suggests, it's a distractor rule. It distracts you from the main subject and you fall into the trap of thinking कि सर क्या second subject के according verb use कर लूँ, क्या proximity का use कर लूँ, which is of course not the right way of dealing with such questions. So when you have conjunctions like along with, together with, as well as, accompanied by, with, including, when you have any of these conjunctions, the verb is used, the verb agrees with the actual subject, the main subject. बाकी सब क्या है? Additional information, peripheral information. The verb agrees with the main subject, first subject. So IPMAT loves placing plural nouns as traps. Yes, that is something that I have seen in previous year papers. आप भी जाओ previous year papers उठा के देखो and then come back to the session, you'll realize कि हाँ सर बात तो आप सही बोल रहे थे. So that is something जो हर साल एग्जाम में होता है. The quality of the players is exceptional. Now, of course, there is no conjunction here, but the subject is quality. The subject is quality. Okay. So, the subject is quality. So, yes, is correct. But you might fall into this trap of wondering, of thinking, sir, is it players? क्या मैं verb players के हिसाब से use करूँगा? बच्चा party, if we do that, I don't think there would be marks for that. So ऐसा नहीं करना है. If you are answering like this, then of course there are ominous signs for you. So that was our first rule for today's discussion, students. Here's the second question. Now here's the second rule rather. So when you have these indefinite pronouns like each, every, either, neither, they always take a singular verb. ये point बहुत important है, students. They always take a singular verb. English syllabus for IPMAT, Shubham, there are a plethora of videos on the channel for syllabus, strategy and all these things. So I don't think we can waste time in this live session for that. Even if followed by plural noun. So irrespective of whether you use a singular noun or a plural noun with each, every, either, neither, the verb is always singular. Each of the participants was informed. Neither of the answers is correct. This is again correct. So singular verb hai, so correct. And trap, of course, proximity to plural noun. We often fall into this trap कि हम plural noun देख के we think कि सर plural noun है, plural verb होगा. अगर ऐसा करते हो, so I don't think I'll be able to place my hand around your shoulders and tell you well done. No, because in that case आपके marks कट जाएंगे. बच्चा पार्टी, that is rule number 2. And again, one of those very important rules of subject verb agreement that I have often seen in previous year papers. Here is the next, the easiest, and yet the one जहां पर आप गलती करते हो. Now, if we look at the second rule, students, or the third one, subjects joined by and are not always plural. Yes, English, the beautiful language that it is. Jitne rules, utne exceptions. So, yes, the general rule suggests that whenever we have two subjects A and B joined by and, it takes a plural verb. That's a general rule. But there are some cases where the two subjects as a singular unit. And when they act as a single unit, plural verb ka role khatam. They always take a singular verb. I know example se aap zyada better samjhoge. So singular if one idea, one person, one identity. Repeated article not used. Like bread and butter is his favorite breakfast. Bread and butter is his favorite breakfast. Not bread, not butter, but the combination of bread and butter. So bread and butter here is acting as a dish. So isliye you will use a singular verb in this case. The poet and philosopher, एक ही बंदा है, वही बंदा poet है, वही philosopher है. Article is not repeated, so it should be is. The poet and the philosopher. Now this usage is incorrect, students. This usage is incorrect. So that was students our rule number 3. And when there is a phrase more than one, it takes singular verb. Now this is one of the strangest rules of students that you would see. आप बोलोगे सर more than one है, so there are plural subjects. Plural subject तो plural verb होना चाहिए, but that doesn't happen. इसीलिए ये rule specifically मैंने आज add किया है. More than one student has failed. Has failed, not have failed, and trust me, there have been such questions based on this rule, and students exam center के बाहर आके they are very confident. Sir, paper बहुत अच्छा हुआ है, grammar 100% accuracy से किया है, but when the results are out, they are left wondering, they are left scratching their head कि क्या गलत हो गया. So these are some of the important things. Extremely counterintuitive. Yes, an IPMAT loves this. आपको लगता है more than one है sir, so there should be plural subject, plural verb, but नहीं, ऐसा नहीं है. आज के पूरे सेशन में अगर मैं बोलूं students, one of those rules which I would say is super important as far as today's session is concerned, because this is something that you generally do not find in grammar books. So there has been extensive research for this rule. Let's quickly move to the last rule, students, and that is correlative conjunctions. Conjunctions like either or, neither nor. Once again, I would say, जो मैं बोल रहा हूँ, do not trust that. Go back and look at the previous year papers. Go back and look at the paper of IPMAT Indore 2025, 2024, and then come back to this session. Then you would say, हाँ sir, neither nor का एक question था exam में, and मेरे भैया ने गलत किया था. That would definitely happen. Verb agrees with the nearest subject. This thing called nearest is very important. Either the teachers or the principal. Now it is not the case here that the main subject is teachers, because we have correlative conjunctions either or. So principal being singular subject will take a singular verb. neither the principal nor the teachers. Now because teachers अब इस तरफ आ गया, teachers is nearer to the verb, so verb agrees with the nearest subject, teachers लिखा हुआ है, so this will take a plural verb, students. This will take a plural verb. These were, dear students, these were my top 5 rules of subject verb agreement. Top 5 rules जो हर साल जिनके ऊपर एग्जाम में क्वेश्चन आ रहा है. I know you people are now wondering, sir, rules तो बहुत सीख लिए, practice का time अब आ गया है. I think we should move to the practice part, students. I have 5 questions and let's practice. And I'm assuming, and I'm not just assuming, I'm backing you people to get all 5 correct. I'm backing you all to get all 5 correct. So here is your first question, students. Here is your first question. More than one of the arguments put forward by the panel, along with the data supporting them, which of the following do you think would follow or would complete the sentence? Easy question, students. We have had a discussion around this type of rule. Can I expect correct answers from you people? It completely depends on you. You can pronounce it either, you can pronounce it either. As far as I am concerned, pronunciation is not the thing that you should worry about at the moment. Just focus on the rules that we have discussed, guys. Chalo. So if we try to answer this question now, here we have along with. So the verb must agree with the first part. More than one arguments. Now whenever there is more than one, as I was discussing the rule, I told you people that this is something that IPMAT always has in its paper, and it is counterintuitive as well. You might fall into the trap of thinking, sir, एक से ज़्यादा है, plural होगा, plural verb होना चाहिए, but that is not the case here. So it should be appears convincing at first glance. Appears convincing at first glance. Now, with noun when we add ses, it becomes plural. But the opposite happens when we do the same with the verbs. Verb plus ses is singular. So this should be appears convincing at the first glance. Appears convincing at the first glance. So C must be the correct answer to this. I beg your pardon. B must be the correct answer to this question. Here is the next question, students. The ethics and integrity of a leader rather than his achievements determines, have, are. What do you think should be the correct answer here? The ethics and integrity of a leader. Now, ethics and integrity, what do you think, students? This has to be a singular subject. Why do I say that? We are talking about the combination of someone being ethical and integral as well. Well, ethics and integrity is going in combination. We do not have articles placed before both the subjects. Had that been the case, the plural verb hota. एक ही बार article है, so it is working as a single unit, ethics and integrity. And if it is working as a single unit, it will take a singular verb. Determines his legacy rather than his achievements. Determines his legacy. Here is the next question, students, based on indefinite pronouns like each, every, either, neither. Which question, Drishme, which question are you talking about? Now, each of the reports that detail the failures of the system. Now, when a sentence, as I said, starts with each, every, It doesn't matter whether we have a singular or plural here, it doesn't matter. The verb has to be singular. The verb has to be singular. Where do I see that, students? I see that in only option C. Each of the reports that detail the failures of the system reveals a deeper structural flaw. Reveals a deeper structural flaw. So C must be the correct answer for this question. And here is our question number 4. One of the reasons why such policies, despite repeated criticism, dash to exist. Now, whenever a sentence starts with one of, the subject that we use with it is plural. But the verb is singular, students. If I say, one of my friends is a doctor. Now, I have many friends, and out of those many friends, I am talking about one particular person. And the moment I say one, subject singular or subject singular, so verb also has to be singular. So one of the reasons why such policies, despite repeated criticism, continues to exist. Continues would be your singular verb, students. So one more question, students. One more question awaits. And I think the intention that we have, the agenda that we have for bringing this series along with IPMAT preparation, along with your board exams, is quite simple. As a teacher, I want in these 20-25 minutes, I come here, I teach you a concept. It could work as concept building, it could work as revision, it could work as practice. Whatever name you wish to add, that you wish to assign to this series of videos, but I'm pretty sure that it will be a big help, and that will help you keep in touch with the IPMAT preparation. I think main issue यही है, IPMAT preparation के touch में रहो. It should not be like कि once you're done with your boards and then you start, sir, I want to restart my preparation, and then at that time you feel lost. वो नहीं होना चाहिए. Neither the arguments raised by the opposition nor the counter proposal singular subject submitted yesterday was found convincing, and neither nor के ऊपर there have been questions in IPMAT Indore 2025, 2024, and hopefully in the upcoming years as well. So bacha badi, that brings us to the end of this short live session. I'll see you guys tomorrow with another topic, and if you have any doubts, comment section आपका है, जो भी doubt है मुझे वहाँ पे बता सकते हो. That's all for today's discussion. Thank you so much. Bye bye.